Well, let me tell you a little bit about From Houses to Homes. Essentially, it's run by a gentleman by the name of Joe Collins. At one point, Joe went to Guatemala and was moved to help the Guatemalan people. There are 1.6 million cornstalk shacks that people live in Guatemala as houses. Joe's mission is to, at one house at a time, to take down the cornstalk shack and build a real home for the people in Guatemala. And it's not a home like we know of a home, but it's a 12 by 19 foot cinder block home that has a real floor, a roof, a steel door with a lock, and a window.
Crime is very high in Guatemala, so just to have a key to lock your door is a wonderful gift. A cinder block home represents hope. It gives them the knowledge that their children will be safe, that they can sleep safely, that the elements won't wash away their home, and it gives them a step up out of poverty. From Houses to Homes has not only built close to 80 homes at this point, they also provide clothing, they provide funds for the children to go to school.
Taking the whole family there and having an opportunity to see your son or your daughter intimately relate to a Guatemalan child of the same age and how all kids are kind of the same was just a really neat thing.
I liked in Guatemala how I got to build houses, play with the kids, give them stuff, and travel around and eat food.
It seems that in Guatemala, at least there's food available for most people because so many things grow in the soil there. You know, corn and vegetables. What Guatemalan people don't have is certainly any reserves. They don't have a steady flow of income. They don't have any type of health care.
They play on dirt floors, and they sleep on cement, and some of the kids sleeps on the floor.
I definitely saw God moving in Guatemala. There was one time in particular that I remember when I was simply shoveling stones into buckets for those buckets to go into the concrete mix. And I remember that there were lots and lots of buckets to be filled that day. And I remember just being exhausted from filling about 20 buckets and saying, Lord, I can't fill any more buckets. You know, I need your strength. And he gave me enough strength to fill one more bucket. And then he gave me enough strength to fill another bucket. And when I got to the point where I was just exhausted and I couldn't fill another bucket, I would feel a tap on my shoulder, and it would be one of the other volunteers saying, hey Dave, why don't you take a break and let me fill those buckets for a little while.
Anyone can be involved. If you have any type of limitations, physical limitations where you couldn't really carry cinder block or put mortar on the house, you could play with the children. Maria Carmelina is a 12-year-old little girl whose job it was to take care of her little sister.
A girl my age would be carrying a baby all day long, and that's all they will do. They'll never go to school, they'll never experience the things that I'll get to experience.
One part of the day was really special in that we would buy them ice cream.
The grandparents, the dads, the moms, the great-grandparents, and the great-great-grandparents. The whole town was running down the hill and running up the hill to get an ice cream cone. And it's so different here in America because ice cream is ice cream. It's always like in the freezer of everyone's house. You can have it after dinner if you're good.
One person can make a difference. You know, my one family was able to make a huge difference for 3 families.
I think kids can make a difference because I'm a kid and I went there and made a difference by making 3 houses.
In the past, I don't think I was ever willing really to go on a trip like this. I really wasn't willing to do that. I always thought it was best left for someone else. But I'm very willing to do this again. As a matter of fact, I had such a rewarding experience that I want to do it again.
If anyone asked me if they wanted to go on a missions trip to Africa or Guatemala or anywhere else where there's poverty, I would tell them that it's a great experience.
If you have ever considered going on a mission trip, please consider Guatemala. There is such tremendous need, and the experience is really one that gives back to you forever.
If you've been moved at all about what you've just heard, I would strongly encourage you to do one of 2 things. Either get on the website from housestohomes.org and make a financial contribution, or volunteer yourself for a trip. You won't be sorry. Thank you.